Good morning. Hello, and welcome to MissouriNet.com. I'm Bill Pollock, joined for our weekly chat by Jason West of MSHSAA. It was a busy high school weekend with tennis championships and then the quarterfinals for softball, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But a good weekend, beautiful weather down in Springfield, Jason, and we've got some big-time champions. I'll go through we had the individual and singles and doubles championships this weekend, and Yuri Hurd of Pembroke Hill won the Class 1 individual title. She made the semifinals as a freshman, and then I think she took her sophomore year off, came back, won her junior year, and now is a senior. So she goes back-to-back in Class 1, a great run for her.
Yeah, we've had a couple of young ladies, especially on the singles side, that have just had a phenomenal career, and she's certainly one of them that has winning multiple championships like that is not easy to do in any sport, especially one like singles in tennis.
Doubles is a little bit harder. It doesn't seem like there's as many doubles partners that go on long runs, but Jane King and Amelia Smith of Barstow were the Class 1 doubles champions. And then in the Class 2 side, Caroline Pozo of Lafayette High School, I think she repeated as a individual champ.
Correct. She's another one that is a multi-champion winner.
And then Katrina and Alex Rosenberger of I think they're from Barstow. They won the Class 2 title. I think they had to beat a pair of Rockbridge. If I remember looking at the bracket, I was looking at so many brackets this weekend, but I think they had to beat a pair of Rockbridge doubles to get there. So a good run by them.
Yeah, and Katerina and Alex are actually from Lindbergh in St. Louis.
Oh yeah. But, you're right.
They were able swept Faith and Catherine from Rockbridge in 2 sets.
But talk about Rockbridge. I mean, they've got a tennis factory over there, not only on the boys' side, but the girls' side as well. They had a real good weekend.
They did. Had multiple people in the championship round as a team. They not only made it to the championship match again. That's they're dating back to 2009. Rockbridge has been in the championship match on the girls' side. This is the second year in a row they won it, and just have kind of got a well-oiled machine just on South Providence here in Columbia.
It's just an amazing run. This hangout, we're talking with Jason West of MSHSAA. It's brought to you by the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, reminding you, protect yourself and those around you by getting the flu vaccine. It's your best defense against the flu. Stay in the game and get vaccinated. We're going to talk about the football playoffs in just a couple of minutes as well. But Jason, it was the quarterfinals for softball, and I actually had a chance to take in one of those games. The atmosphere for high school softball games, just amazing. And again, great weather this weekend. Couldn't ask for anything better. A little crispness in the air, but it was still great. In Class 1, Canton is back in the Final Four. They had a third-place finish last year. Fatima goes back to the championships, and Portageville makes a return. They finished third last year in Class 2. Class 3 and Class 4, I think they're whole new teams, so completely different looks. Tell us a little bit about the softball championships and what people can expect when they travel down for those games.
I think the field is going to be a very competitive field this year. Looking at Class 1, you've got Canton at 24-3, Norburn 26-1. DeKalb also has over 20 wins. They're 21-7. Chaffee's kind of the surprise team that came through that bracket at 14-14, but they've also won, I believe, like the last 6 or 7 games. So they're definitely playing at a high level right now. And we also have some teams that are just putting up some outrageous numbers offensively as well. In Class 2, again, Portageville makes a return trip at 24-5. Lathrop 25-3 is one of those that they've outscored their 2 opponents on the bracket so far, 15-2. So they're playing very well. Iberia has made it again. They're 24-3, and then Fatima looking to repeat at 21-9. They've probably played the toughest schedule of the Class 2 teams playing against teams like Rockbridge and Hickman and Jeff City, some in much larger schools to get ready for the playoffs. And then, as you said, in Class 3, we've got some newcomers, some that have returned after a hiatus, if you will. But Notre Dame, Cape Girardeau, Lafayette, St. Joe, Warrenton, and Helias Catholic all have over 20 wins on the season. Warrenton coming in at 26-2. They beat Incarnate Word in the quarterfinal 17-2. So they're really scoring. Helias put up 18 runs in their quarterfinal win over Logan Rogersville. So I think this year, more than any, there's going to be a lot of offense, just looking at the numbers that I was looking at last night. And then in Class 4, we have some people that have never been there before. Fox, I believe, I was talking to the coach last night, and this is the first time that they've even won districts, let alone made it this far on the state bracket. Staley I don't believe the softball team has been there. The baseball team has made it to the Final Four a couple of years, but I believe this is the first time for the softball team. And then you have Marquette and Joplin, who are both newcomers as well. And again, all four of those teams have over 20 wins on the season as well. So I think while we'll see some good pitching, I'm really looking forward to seeing the offensive numbers that everybody has submitted to us so far.
Yeah, and there is an interesting mix. Being in Jefferson City, I've had the opportunity to watch Helias, a team that last year struggled. There was a team that just kind of shot themselves in the foot all the time. This year, they grew from that experience, and they may get down early, but they're never out of a game. They were down against Logan Rogersville in this quarterfinal game, found a way to come back. Had a big offensive game. Fatima, I've watched them a few times, and they're just a very solid team, very clean, great pitching, and solid defense, just teams that just don't make mistakes. So you're going to get a mixed bag of everything this weekend across all four classes.
Yeah, I think all 16 of the teams that will be at the Killian Complex this weekend will have proven that they can take advantage of the little mistakes and definitely have to bring the A games once you get to this level. And we saw that happen last year when there were teams that may have not done the small things or may not have done the routine things that needed to do to be able to advance. And this year, I think all 16 of these teams would be able to take advantage of any of those type of mistakes again.
We're talking with Jason West of MSHSAA on our weekly hangouts presented by Missouri NEA. Was there a teacher, coach, or school employee that affected your life in a positive way? Well, tell us your story at teacherwordsmatter.org for a chance to win $500. All right, so we've had 9 weeks of high school football, Jason. And I remember when this format changed, it seemed like a lot of people were against it. So what's the point of having the regular season if everyone's going to make the playoffs? And at first I kind of caught I understood what they were saying, but this kind of lines football in with the rest of other sports. And to me, after watching it play out for a couple of years, it makes sense. For those that are still a little confused or maybe disagree, explain the format and explain why this is the best route to go.
Well, like you said, this new format does align football with the other sports. Volleyball, softball, basketball, even tennis, golf. We have district tournaments where you go to districts. Upon competing at that level, you have a chance to win a state championship, a MSHSAA championship. Regardless of what you've done, maybe you have been snake bitten during the year, or you had a player that was injured early in the year and now has come back and you're playing very well at the end of the year compared to how it started out. And for example, Chaffee in the softball championships at 14-14 are playing their best ball right now. And so this kind of aligns football back with the other sports in that the postseason includes a district tournament. And what it helps eliminate is when you have those strong pockets of areas across the state where there is, 2, 3, maybe even 4 teams that are within a very close geographical area, and they have to beat up on each other every time, every year. This allows those programs to get a taste of what it's like to be in the playoffs and have that playoff atmosphere where it's a win in advance type of scenario. Whereas in the past, when the district play was in football in the regular season, you didn't have that playoff atmosphere, even though you knew you had to win this game in week 7 to have a chance to make it to the playoffs in week 11 or 12. So this kind of helps with that atmosphere as well, and having that playoff mentality for everyone.
How has the feedback, or I mean, did you hear some of that criticism, and has that changed at all? And what's the general perception, or how do people receive it now that it's been going 4 or 5 years?
There was that criticism of, well, it's just watering down the playoffs and diluting the everything like that. But I believe it actually, once the new format was put into place, people had a chance to see what it was. I think it actually helped enhance that district championship. There may be a district champion in the old system that was 2-9 because they won those 2 games they had to win to be number 1 in the district. Now you have to earn that district championship by going through and like Ric Flair always said, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. So you want to be the best, then you're going to have to beat the best in your district, and you earn that district title.
It's good stuff. All right, so as we mentioned, softball coming up this weekend, football districts. What else we got on tap, because it's still a busy fall season and now we're starting to get into the thick of it?
Oh yeah, I think all we have is Class 4 district cross country. We have boys soccer starting this week at the district level. Volleyball starts today for many of the districts around the state. Saturday it will be the volleyball sectional and quarterfinal rounds. So outside of that, I think it's just going to be a normal week.
yeah, it's a pretty light week for you guys, huh? Jason West from MSHSAA, thanks for joining us as always, and it looks like we're going to have a lot to talk about next week too.
Yeah, Nick, I'll have to try to come up with a new Ric Flair reference though.
Yeah, that was impressive. I mean, pulling out Ric Flair, that was good. You get bonus points for that one today.
Yes.
All right, thanks a lot for watching. And again, thanks to Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services and Missouri NEA for sponsoring our Hangout. You can get more high school sports at MissouriNet.com and at MSHSAA.org. For Jason, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.